Good evening, Nick family. Welcome to another edition of the Queen's Court. Happy to have you join us. The Knicks are currently 25-36, I believe, 12th in the Eastern Conference, 4.5 games back of the play-in. I know you guys are not interested in that. The season is over for a lot of us. We're going to talk about last week's games. We're going to preview next week's games. We're going to talk about RJ's continued ascent. We're going to talk a little bit about Cam. We're going to talk about Mitch. We're going to talk about Sim. Got a lot. Not Simeon Russell, the creator of this channel. We're going to talk about Sims on the Knicks and his recent play. I'm joined today by Tony Crow from Knicks and Bruises, Chris, who you can follow at BXChris169.
Jump on the stream because I can't.
And then Erin, who's her first time on Queen's Court, hopefully not her last. And you can follow her at Forever Knicks, at Forever Knicks. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, hit that notification button so you'll be notified anytime anything goes live on Nothing But Knicks. That includes the Queen's Court, the Controversy, Knicks and Bruises, NBA Report, and of course, pregame, postgame, and the shoot around from Simeon Russell, the creator of this channel, who's with us today behind the scenes. So that means we'll be taking calls today. So let me get our guest in, have them introduce themselves, and then I'll do a quick rundown of last week's games, and we'll get right into it. Chris, Tony, Erin, how are you?
I'm good,
I
Steph.
can't hear anything.
He's playing.
Yeah.
Wait, you can't hear?
No idea.
Salute.
Why can't she hear? Let me see. I don't think. Okay. She'll be back. She'll be back with us, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, Chris? Tony?
I'm good, Steph. I got this Queen's Court merch on. Repping.
Can you hear us now?
Yes, thank you. I just re-entered.
right.
Now I hear everybody.
Okay.
I load. Hi,
Awesome.
everybody.
Welcome.
Hi. Welcome, Erin.
Thank
Tell
you.
us a little bit about yourself, your Knick fandom. Whatever else you want to share.
I'm a Knicks fan since I'm 16. I love the Knicks. 47 now. There's no place I'd rather be than the Garden. There's no other team to love in New York, not in basketball. I can't imagine doing anything else for the rest of my life but loving this team and supporting them. And I always will. And I've been through the hard years, which were terrible. We suffered many times at the hands of Michael Jordan and all of that. And then we suffered the mellow years with Stat and all these almost make-its. And, you know, now we have this young core, which I'm really excited about. And no matter how bad it looks this year, it will get better next year. So we just got to make it to the end.
Aaron, you forgot Reggie.
I refuse to trust that man. Stop. This man hates every day, every chance. Like the rest of the league. Doris, I swear that every single commentator has a personal vendetta against the Knicks. It's disgusting, along with the ref. So,
Doris Burke is a Knick fan, believe it or not.
I do not believe that. That is a lie. Just like the Knicks fan, right? Yeah, right. I'm not a Knicks fan. These people just get paid to hate on the Knicks and pretend to be fans. They are like unbelievable liars, and they're like Phil Jackson. They infiltrated us, destroyed us.
Okay.
No.
I'm sorry. Is this Queen's Court or Knicks and Bruises?
Right. Right. Exactly.
I actually think Mark want to be our coach. So I don't know. You know.
Listen,
We'll
anything
get into
what we got now. Anything. Like I was a big fan of Tibbs, and now what's just happened. I don't know. Like I don't know how he can come in and coach every game and be this bad. And I don't know what happened from last year to this year. Something happened. The chemistry changed. It couldn't have changed that much. I don't know if it's egos, and I'll always say this: just the wrong egos in the room. You know.
Possible. All right. Let me go back out, do the intro so that we can get right into the show. I'm going to talk a little bit about the last two games just to refresh our memories. And I don't know how many people need refreshing. I mean, I think it's pretty, I think it's pretty fresh. and I just lost my notes. So give me 1 minute while I pull it back up. I'm not sure what is going on. All right. So this past week, we only had 2 games, and that was both of them were at the Garden. We played Miami Wednesday, coming off the All-Star break, Friday, coming off the All-Star break. And then we had a matinee Sunday game against Philly, which was yesterday. So that should be pretty fresh. Miami was Barrett's first game back, believe it or not. Remember, he had injured his ankle in the latter minutes of a game that a lot of us felt he should not have been in. Rose, we were expecting to have back that game, but apparently he had a minor setback, had a minor procedure, so he's going to be out for a week or two. Burke started that game instead of Kemba, if you remember, right after the All-Star break. It was announced that Kemba would no longer be with the team. So Burks got to start to a lot of our dismay. But anyway, Grimes got hurt in that game, so that meant more minutes for Cam. But what was good to see was Sim backing up Mitch, right? Taj didn't play that game. I think he was healthy. I think he was available. So I think that was probably a decision that was made over that All-Star break. New York looked sharp in the first quarter against Miami. They led most of the way. RJ Barrett had 30 points in the first half against Miami, which is a very good defensive team, both schematically and individually. He had a very good game. 17 of his 30 was in the second quarter. I think at one point he scored 17 on 19 consecutive points, really coming into his own. The Knicks were in that game down the stretch, but what we've noticed is they can't close. If you can't hit foul shots, if you're turning the ball over, if you don't have someone that can consistently get you a bucket, because we're not a very efficient team as well, it's going to be hard to close games. RJ Barrett had 46 points in that game. And as a matter of fact, let me pull up that slide as well. Yeah. RJ Barrett had 46 points in that game. I think it was 9 rebounds, hit 6 3-pointers, Fournier and Randall, 13 points, 11 points. But this was all about RJ in that Miami game. And we're going to talk more about him and his ascent. Then yesterday's game should be really fresh. You know, we played Philly. It was a matinee game. Harden's second game back, first game that we've seen him with Philly. Our record against Philly, I believe coming into that game, I want to say was 2-0. I think we had beat them twice earlier in the season. The Knicks were kind of in that game as well. But Embiid is just Embiid. You know, I thought Sims did okay. He was very active. He disrupted things a little bit. You know, he had 8 rebounds in the first quarter, 10 for the game. But at the end of the day, Embiid still ended up with 37 points and 16 rebounds. Barrett again played very well. He's getting where he wants to go on the floor, and he's finishing and going right. And listen, he's left-handed. He's going to work the left side of the floor. That's totally fine. Right-handed players, they work the right side of the floor. That's what they're supposed to do. But if you try to take away their right hand, they can go left and finish. And that's what we're seeing from RJ Barrett, which I love because that makes him harder to guard. The Knicks led 28 in second chance points. They were okay in the paint, 48-50. They did a little small ball with Randall at center, and I could see why Tibbs doesn't like it. There was just no rim protection. Harden was able to immediately go in for a layup. We went on a 15-5 run with a little less than 10 minutes in the fourth, but we never really threatened them. Harden had a triple-double, and Philly is just a better team. That's the bottom line. They're a better team, but we had an opportunity to win. But you're never going to close if you can't hit free throws, if you can't get timely stops, and if you can't hit timely shots. And that's been the Knicks for this entire season. So let's get back to the panel and let's see what they have to say about this past week, these two games. All right. Any thoughts, player-wise or team-wise, about this past week? Aaron, we'll start with you. Tony, then Chris. We'll mix it up as we go along.
I will try to be really brief here.
That's okay. It's okay.
Our consistent problem, not just this year, we are the fourth quarter fails. Like we cannot close it out in the fourth. This is my big take all the time. This is something mental. So what I will continually say is I don't care how many shooting coaches we have, they're not working. So there's got to be some kind of therapist that we need for the team. No, that's serious. Like, how can you be consistently this bad year after year in the fourth quarter? How come you can't figure out how to close the game no matter how many talented people you have on your team? In the Garden, where you have the best fans in the world, we cheer you when you're 17-35. Like, we do not care. We show up. We pay ridiculous amounts to sit in those seats. $25 for a double. Are you kidding me? And I sit there game after game, every game I can afford, buy all the merch that I can afford, and you guys can't hit free throws with nobody guarding you. Why?
Yeah. In that Philly game, it was 60. We shot 62.9%. You're just not going to win like that.
And where's the effort? Where is the effort? My problem is like, I don't want to blame Randall. I don't want to blame Mitch. I don't want to say that they have low basketball IQ, but hello, there are some really bad decisions being made on that court.
Yeah.
Time and time. These are not like single solitary decisions. They are repeated decisions game after game. You're not that slow. You're not, you've been playing a long time. You made it all the way through college. You're in the NBA. There are certain mistakes you're not supposed to be making anymore. Don't please let somebody else talk. I will rant.
Right. Tony.
Oh, this is gonna be great. Well, the answer to what we need to change all this is a point guard. That's what's been missing for all these years. Somebody who can command the ball at the end of the game, somebody who can change the pace when it's getting out of reach, when it's getting out of hand, slow things down when we're moving too fast. Somebody who can just say, all right, I'm gonna make the decisions for the betterment of the team down the stretch. And none of these guys are used to doing that. They're trying to figure out how to do it, trying to learn on the fly. But we get a point guard that's their MO. That's what they're brought in to do. I think that solves the whole problem. And the only thing I think you left out was, but she touched on it, was the turnovers down the stretch as well as the missed free throws and the
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you got from watching this team, these two games and the season, is that basically we need a point guard.
A point guard, but someone who is gonna take control when needed. Like, we be in chaos, like game after game. We go through these stretches game after game where we just can't score. The defense might be good, but we can't score. Or other times the defense is bad and we can't score. But we just need somebody who's gonna take the ball out of everybody else's hand and say, you're gonna get it, you know what I mean? But you're gonna get it in the right opportunity. Because it seems like everybody's trying to, when it gets down to the crunch time, everybody's just trying to make that play individually.
Right.
But that's
Chris,
no one's MO.
Right. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
we good.
Chris, anything about this week, team-wise or player-wise, that stood out for you?
Tony read my mind. I was saying the same thing. Like, we really need like a Chris Paul type of player. Like, listen, give me the ball, get to where y'all at. I'm gonna get y'all the ball. No, you don't go there. You go over there. This is your sweet spot. Because I'm telling you, it's just sometimes when I feel like Randall doesn't really, get the person at the right time, and then Burks is learning on the fly how to be a point guard. I mean, he's doing a decent job. I'm gonna say that. I wish he was doing a little better. I really think that's what it is. We're missing a point guard, but we're missing other pieces too. But for the most part, to stand out, we're missing a point guard. And you're right. You can't win a game if you win one quarter out of four. I think we won one quarter out of the 4 quarters Was it against Philly? I think one of them we won one quarter. I think we won the third quarter. Like you can't win one quarter out of 4 quarters, and then also the last 5 minutes of the game. I'm trying to think if there's a strategy. Is there a game plan or something that Tibbs is telling them, because it just seems like they're out of sync. There was like some critical turnovers, and it just seems like they just really lackadaisical with the ball. They really don't focus on what the good pass is. They don't hit the hot hand. Sometimes they hit the hot hand too much. I don't know. I just don't see balance. I don't see
Okay.
balance with them.
Okay. I mean, for me, I think what stood out was the fact that Sims backed up um, um, Mitch instead of Taj. So that means that there was some talking going on in the preseason about how best to approach. Excuse me, during the All-Star break about how best to approach the rest of the season. Cam, I think, was already going to get more minutes, but it also helped that Grimes got hurt, and that we got an opportunity to see him more. And, I also noticed that, Barrett's continued ascension, even coming back from being out all of that time, he was still able to drop 46 against a Miami team who's top 10 defensively, has good defensive players on that team, have historically been very good schematically, and he still dropped 46. So it's just good to see his continued ascent, and we'll see going forward. What's going to happen. I don't think we're gonna make the play-in. I still believe in playing to win though. But I don't think we're going to make the play-in. The Knicks have lost, I don't know, 16 out of 18 or so. I mean, we're just struggling with things that you would struggle with in the beginning of the season that should have been worked out by now. And we're just not a really good team. But let's move on to the next segment. I'm trying to decide, should I go with Mitch or should I go with RJ? I'm gonna save RJ. Let's talk about Mitch. Is it too early for us to ask for a bit more consistency with Mitch? And I do think the fan base is split on Mitch. I think there's some who think Mitch is finally coming into his own. If it wasn't for the injuries, he would have been there already, and that he's going to be an elite defensive player. I think there's some parts of the fan base who feel that's Tony. There's some parts of the fan base who feel that this guy cannot get a shot on his own other than an offensive rebound or an alley-oop. And we should not extend him for a lot of money. I think for me, and I'll just say this really quickly before I get to the panel, I just feel like he'll have that 14 points, 17 rebounds, two blocks, and you'll get a glimpse of, wow, if he can ever become consistent, this guy is going to be an elite defensive player. Even if he doesn't contribute offensively other than putbacks, he's going to change the game defensively. And then interspersed with those is the 6 points, 9 rebounds. And I know Tony is going to argue that it's because he was fouled and foul trouble as of late and because his father was missing. But I'm talking about for all of February and for all of January. Unlike RJ Barrett, where you feel like, okay, RJ Barrett has arrived. We know his baseline now. It's not going to get any lower than that. And he's going to ascend with Mitch. We don't know where his baseline is. We think it's here and he's just going to go up, and then we get a few of these. But anyway, I'm going to start with Chris. I'm going to go with Tony and Aaron. Is it too early to start expecting some consistency from Mitch? And let me just put up, because I think this will help our conversation. Let me just, okay. This is his stats per year. So he's last year and this is his games, right? So 2018, 2019, his rookie year, he played 66 out of 82 games, played 20.6 minutes, 7.3 points, 6.4 rebounds, 2.4 blocks. Remember, he was in foul trouble all the time. The second year, his second year, he played 61 out of 82 games, got 23 minutes per game, 9.7 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks. Look at the free throw shooting, 60%, 56%. Last year, he only played 31 out of the 72. I believe it was 72 games, right? Not 76. I believe it was 72. He played 27 and a half minutes when he did play, 8.3 points, 8.3 rebounds, 1.5 blocks, 49.1% from the free throw line. And then this year, 55 games, playing about 25 minutes a game, 8.2 points, 8.7 rebounds, 1.6 blocks, 51.5% from the free throw line. And we all know his field goal percentage is extraordinary because he plays close to the basket, right? But the question to the panel, is it too early to start asking Mitch to be more consistent? And I guess you can argue that 7 points and 6 rebounds and 9 points and 7 is consistent. But I mean, consistent, but at a higher level than this. Chris, then Tony, and Aaron.
First, I think Mitch has to be healthy. He really, from the games that's on the stat, he hasn't really played a season, so that could be one of the reasons why we don't really get to see.
And then I'll get to the super chats. I didn't forget.
Yeah, we don't get to see his full potential. Also, I think he needs to work on his core because I think that's one of the reasons why he's like get pushed around and he's always falling on the ground. Like I tell you, he kind of mops the floor better than the ball boys because he's always on the floor. I just really feel like when you say is it too early, we already seen 4 years, almost 4 years of him. So I think it's late. I don't think it's early. I mean, I think we should have saw some glimpses, maybe year 2, year 3, we should have saw the potential, but he got hurt. So this year I'm really expecting him to come out and really show us something. I mean, at what point do the Knicks decide? Because there's not a lot of basketball to really even say what can we give him or what can we max him. The only thing that I think about, and this is one thing that the Knicks do, is they have players like Mitch. He doesn't work out in the 4 years, and then they trade him somewhere, and then he becomes an all-star. So I'm really still on the fence about what his ceiling is because he hasn't remained healthy.
Right. Let me just give some super chat love. Shout out to Chuck D. Salute. Let's go. Salutes, Queen. Thanks for the therapy. You definitely welcome. It's therapy for me too to do this show. Appreciate you rocking with us, Chuck D. A huge Knick fan. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat for Who's Mark fan. Hey, Steph, what's good? You ever considered adding Ashley Nicole Moss to the team? She's very knowledgeable and has insider knowledge to the team and NBA. Actually, that's actually a good point. That's actually a good point. I will do that. Thank you for the super chat. And Ayab Matan, yeah, we need a point guard, but we need a closer as well. Hopefully we can get both a point guard and a closer the same. Tony and then Aaron. Let me get the violin going for Tony and Mitch.
All right. I'm not even gonna go crazy. I'm not even gonna go crazy. I think those are his numbers at this point, like 8 and 8. You know what I mean? Free throws definitely got to get better. So if you talk about expecting more, that's something that I expect. I don't even know if I should expect better, but I wish was better. That's a guaranteed flaw in his game that I don't know. If you look at the numbers and the years and how it's gone down, in a sense, I don't know how you really have faith in that in particular. But what I will say is this. Those 8 and 8 numbers could jump dramatically with the right point guard.
Yeah.
Next to him. So this is what he's doing just based off of his abilities and things of that nature.
But how does
Expansion
a
of his,
point?
huh?
I'm sorry.
Oh, you say how does it the point
How does
guard?
I can see how a point guard can help his points go up, but how does a point guard help his rebounds and free throw percentage?
Oh no, I'm not talking about free throw. I'm talking about just his performance on the game as far as the numbers looking better. I'm not talking about free throws. Free throws, that's something he got to work on his own. And as far as faith in free throws, I don't have much. He hasn't shown much as far as like he's working on it and improving and getting better. I think he needs a shooting coach as far as that aspect of his game. And that being said, I'm not that high on the potential of him actually shooting a jump shot and things of that nature because the free throw is so bad. But at what he does, I think he can get better at. He can become elite at. Um, I wouldn't throw to break the bank for him, but I definitely would keep him in extension contention or
But
resign
is it
him.
too early to be expecting more from him at this stage, 4 years in?
Um, probably, probably. He's young. You figure out of the 4 years, he's played about 3 years worth of games. So you take a year away from him in that aspect. You take the college year away from him that he didn't play there, and you take the fact that centers probably take the longest to develop in the NBA. Period. Absolutely, it's too early to. I mean, you could have higher expectation, but it's definitely too early to like give up on them or things of that
Oh no,
nature.
no, no, that
You,
wasn't
you,
the
you know what I
question. I
mean?
just yeah, no doubt. Let's move on to Aaron. Aaron, do you think that it's too early to expect some consistency from Mitch?
Absolutely not. How many of them have and be this inconsistent 4 years later? How many other jobs? First of all, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. If you're too broken by your fourth year, that you agree. I agree with Chris's points. Like he's got to work on his core. He is hitting the floor way too many times. He's too
Yeah.
sloppy. I don't want to hear it. Yes, he needs a shooting coach, but so does the rest of the team. So I'm not going to pin that. Honestly, he's got to do a better job. Like you can't be on Twitter all night tweeting and in spaces and on Instagram talking yang. Like, bro, Jim, get right next to Quick and be in the gym. Stop talking. Get to work. Do you understand how long is the average NBA career right now? It's not like we're not talking about Robert Parrish days. These people didn't play for 20 seasons. Your NBA career may only be so long. Are you really going to waste it like this? And you really expect this Knicks fan to waste all my money on you? No, I'm ready to be like, yo, I gave you 4 years. I'll still give you some money, but I'm about to put my money into Jericho Sims because you playing yourself now. I know we need a point guard, but you have to have basketball IQ enough to know your position and know what you're doing. And after 4 years, for you still look this bad, yo, no, I don't want to hear it. No.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think in the sense that people talk about Randall's IQ, I don't think Mitch has a great feel
Nope.
for the game as well. He came in raw. I get it. He didn't play in college. He played, he came straight from high school.
Agreed.
I just feel like he should be a little further along. And I get it.
Yeah.
His injuries, even when he's healthy, I get it. His injuries, has been an issue. But even when he's healthy, I'm just tired of seeing like 14 points, 17 rebounds, 2 block shots, a few games in a row. Wow, Mitch has finally arrived, and then off the cliff again.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Agreed.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what I disagree with, and we could talk about this because I did want to get you guys' thoughts on Sims, so we can talk about Sims actually in the context of talking about Mitch. There's some who feel that Sims is better than Mitch now, and some who feel that Sims will be, if he's not better than than Mitch now, he will be better than Mitch. So we're going to go with Tony, Aaron, and then Chris. Is Sims better than Mitch now? And do you think he will be better than Mitch? Do you think he's a better prospect than Mitch? Tony, we'll start with you, Aaron, then Chris.
I think Mitch has way more potential than Jericho. I think Jericho is going to be a solid backup throughout his career. I don't know if he doesn't have the ceiling I think that Mitch has. I'll say that. But better at this point, absolutely not.
Okay.
He's fundamental though. I'll give him that.
Right.
I'll not be a mean or anything here, but you got to understand, like, Jericho's out here with very little minutes, and the minutes that he's getting, he's producing, right?
Yeah, he's
not saying that, I'm not slandering him and telling him he's going to be a better backup in his first year. You don't know where his potential. So all I know is that I know what Mitch has shown me in 4 years, and I love Mitch. Believe me, I'm a Mitch fan. I have a Mitch t-shirt. Like, I'm all for Mitch, but at this point, you have to give somebody else a shot. It's the same, like, always complaining about who's not getting, right? And how Randall's scrubbing it up, but we won't give top end minutes, right? So if Mitch now, you have to give somebody else the time to develop and see where they take you. You can't keep running the same plays and the same players who aren't appreciating that what they're working with. And listen, I need wins now. I'm tired of this. I believe in winning now. I'm not a tanker. I don't want to wait for the draft again. I'm just not doing that because, like, we've been hurt by the draft so many times. I will not say his name, but I will. Frederick Weiss. I mean, how many times have we been disappointed by our draft hopes? Stop pinning our life on the draft. Work with what we have now. In any other industry in the world, you work with the team that you have. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing? Everything is on next year, pinning. Work with what you have now. See what you can build now. See what you can develop. See where it takes you. That's it. Sorry.
Okay. Did you have a question, Tony, before I move on to Chris?
No. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Chris, do you think Sims is better than Mitch now, or do you think he's a better prospect than Mitch?
Listen, how can I go after that? I feel like because we don't really get a chance to see him, so when he get in, and he's doing what he's doing, it's like, oh, because we used to Noel and Mitch, so that's like a breath of fresh air. But I wouldn't say that he's better. I mean, Mitch has proven that he can do certain things consistently. He just hasn't been consistent with it. I don't know. I want to see Sims next year. I want to see, and then I can give you that. The first year you can't really count it because it's like something we don't know. So him coming in like, oh, he could do that. Oh, he could rebound. Oh, he could play D. So I want to see him next year. But as far as Mitch go, I mean, Mitch got to really show me something the rest of these games because I feel like in 4 years, he should have something, a jump shot, a drop step, a hook shot, something consistently in 4 years, something he's working on. He's always putting on Twitter some jump shots and he's doing stuff, but they're not making it to the game. I want to see some of that make to the game. Like she said, you on Twitter and all that all the time. Like, let's see some of that stuff you're doing.
Thank you.
I mean, I will say that my love affair with Mitch is up and down. There's some games or stretches of games where I'm like, this guy is going to be it. We just got to give him time. He's rounding the corner. He's going to be it. And there's other times where I see him and I'm like, nah. It's been 4 years already. He hasn't developed the way I would like to see him develop. I'm not sure that he's going to be the guy. Like, that's how the gamut of my emotions with Mitch. But I don't think Sims is better than Mitch. I think
I want to see
what I like about Sims is that he can defend on the perimeter on those switches. He can move his feet, and that's really good. And he's uber athletic as well. But I don't think he's better than Mitch now. And I agree with Aaron. I hate to say what a player can ever be because we don't know. We can't really say that about any player, right? Even people say that about IQ and OB. We never know what a player can be. But if you ask me to put my money on it, I would put my money that he would be a second teamer for the rest of his career, more so than I would put my money on him being a star. This is
A
what we have to
solid
keep.
second teamer.
A solid second team, no
Yeah,
doubt
a
about
solid,
it.
yeah.
This is what we have to keep
New
in mind.
Out of New York. Because remember, I take
Mhm.
to Chris's point that everybody's an all-star after they leave New York.
For real.
Yeah, yeah.
Player that we think is a scrub here, Zach Randolph.
Except for Frank. Frank hasn't materialized yet. I don't know.
But what I say about French people? What I say? Nobody learns. Nobody learns. Where's Frenchie now? What's our Evan Fournier doing playing up and down? Listen, we got a bad track record with the French. I don't know.
But we will see with Sims. Sims played 4 years of college, and I think that's one. He played 4 years of college. He was not a one and done. 2 centers came in and were better than him and left. Kai Jones, well, better prospects. Who knows whether they'll be better players. Kai Jones, right, who's with, I want to say Charlotte, and Jackson Hayes, who's with New Orleans.
I like
both
Jackson.
of them. Both of them came in while Sims was there, outperformed him, and got drafted high. You know, who knows? I think they may have a higher ceiling. We'll see what Sims floor is. But before we move on from Sims, just briefly, he's played the past 2 games behind Mitch instead of Taj playing. What is it that you like about him? Aaron, Chris, Tony.
Listen,
1 minute or less.
I like effort. I want to see effort on the floor. Just because you're on the Knicks and you live in New York doesn't mean you get to be lazy. So when these kids come on and show me that they want to earn their minutes that supposedly Tibbs is giving people, which is a lie. This is a straight up lie. I don't know who's controlling him and then telling these lies because it's really exhausting. Like, I want to see effort. And when I see effort, that makes me get excited. And I remember that with Mitch. So I don't want you to think I'm out here Mitch bashing because I'm really not. Listen, I just know that when I see these kids get up, even Cam, like Cam is ready to play. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know who I feel bad for is Toppin because he gets out there and he's so excited. He makes all these stupid mistakes because he can't believe he's on the court because he's going to get yanked. And look what Tibbs did to IQ. Like, this is a problem. I'm all for the vets, but I don't want to see Noel anymore. I don't want to see Burks anymore. I'm sorry. Like, it's over for me. Play the rest of the season with the kids. Let the chips fall where they may and figure out who's worth having and who's not. And I'm tired of having these same conversations where we keep like, give him another chance. Give him a little more. Bro, you're making NBA salaries. You can pay outside coaches. You can have outside trainers. I don't want to hear nothing anymore. Show up for your city, show up for your team, and stop playing games. It's bullshit. Sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
Yes. All right. All right. In terms of Sims, what is it that you like about him, Chris?
I think that he's a hustler. I think that, and it.
Oh no, I got your point that he plays hard. Chris, and then Tony. What is it that you like about him?
You setting me up, Steph. You send me after this firecracker.
Okay.
I agree. I mean, I like him. I think he brings energy. Like I said, he brings something different and fresh that we haven't seen. Definitely brings that energy because, I mean, I think at this point, people are just going through the motions, Stephanie. That's what I really feel like some of these players are doing. They know that, the playoffs is kind of out of reach. And they just going through the motions. So just to see somebody happy to get on the court and just play and do what he do, that's what I want. I want energy. I want effort. And, I just, I agree with Aaron. I want to see these young players that we have. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't think we're, like you said, we're going to get into the bubble. So I feel like, let them play. See what we got.
Tony, what is it that what are you seeing Sims like or dislike? Like just having watched him these past two games.
I like he definitely gives effort. He's a solid rebounder for, he fights for rebounds, fights for to keep it away from opponents. I think we haven't really seen a lot from him. I wouldn't mind seeing more from him. But I know he's just very raw. You know what I mean? Like, and that was the knock on Robinson his rookie year as well. So, You know,
Yeah.
it's gonna take time, regardless. So I hope, you know, even if we don't have Robinson, I hope people give him, a fair shot of growth and development. And then I think he has the right body like structure to where he's probably not going to be injury prone like a Mitch. So I think he'll have some longevity, and when he gets his opportunity, he'll be able to stay on the floor, and it'll be based off what he does on the floor, not whether he's on the floor or not. So
Yeah. I mean, the thing also is Sims is about 6'10". I mean, and
size.
maybe he just looks so short next to Embiid, right? When he plays against the other centers, it won't look so bad. But he just looked really tiny next to Embiid. But he fought, and I think you're right. He has good footwork. He has a good base. And so that part he has going for him. And as Tony brought up, he's uber athletic vertically, but in terms of like busting down the court, he's not quick-footed in that in that sense. But that's okay. If you can get out there with them guards and you can move your feet and kind of keep that guard in front of you until his man gets around that screen, that bodes well for him. I guess we'll talk about this on another show. We got very few studs on this team, in my opinion. We got very few players that you can count on game in and game out, in my opinion. And if you want to win in this league, you're going to need those guys, and we have very few of them. All right. So that's it on Mitch. Let's move in. Let's move into RJ. And I want to ask a different question. About RJ. We know he's playing well. He's ascending, in my opinion. I feel like we know what his baseline is, and in my opinion, I think he's just going to get better and better and better from here. He needs to work on his free throws if you're going to be a great player in this league and be a bit more efficient. A lot of fans say he's the face of the franchise now. He's the leader of the team now. He's our number one option now. If you believe that, if you don't, that this may not be the question for you. But if you believe that, is it not too early? Then can we now criticize him for losses? Can we criticize him for turnovers and poor free throw shooting down the stretch? Because if you're the number one, if you're a leader, that comes with responsibility and that comes with accountability. Now, personally, I think it's too early for that. I think it's too early to put that much pressure on him that he's the number one, which means we got to hold him now accountable and responsible for how he plays down the stretch when he's just now coming into this role and just now learning how to close out a game. But let's start with this. Can you be a number one and not be held accountable or responsible for how the team does? Let's start there with the basics, and then we'll build on that question. Chris, I'm gonna let you go first because you always go behind Aaron. Can you be a number one but yet not be held accountable?
Pressure bust pipes, and look at what it did to Randall. Randall, we put that on Randall, and he crumbled. So I don't know if RJ is really ready for that, but he seemed like him, like he can handle it a little better than Randall did. So hey, he's doing what he got to do. He only has more ceiling to grow. I'm not sure if I want to put the number one on anybody at this point. You know what I'm saying? I just want them to play and just show us what they got. I think when you start putting like expectations on people, especially in this year, how the team has been playing and everything, I think you're gonna start going backwards a little bit. So I think next year, yeah, okay, I want to see something different. I want to see, you take over and you do this. Right now, I think he's just feeling like, what he can do and just, trying to figure it out right now. So he's figuring out, like I said, going with his right hand instead of going with his left hand, like you said. So I don't know.
If I'm
I
hearing you
don't know.
correctly.
Say it again.
If I'm hearing you correctly, you do believe that if you're the number one, you have to be accountable and responsible. But that's too much for him at this point.
I believe so.
Okay. Tony and then Aaron.
I agree 100%. I don't think it's the right time to put that type of pressure on him, to put that kind of focus on him. Whether you like Randall or not, let Randall keep taking the blunt of the criticism.
Yeah.
Let him keep taking the pressure, the double teams, the focus of the other teams, scouting report and things of that nature. Because, I mean, granted, it's gonna happen eventually, but when RJ becomes the focal point of the other team's scouting report, now he's gonna have to make some adjustments.
Yeah.
Right now, just let him excel at whatever role he finds himself in and see where he lands. He might just take it.
So now what I'm hearing, and before I get to Aaron, I'm hearing something different now. What I'm hearing from you is part of his success, if you will, are you saying is because the teams are not focusing on him, game planning? I think they're game planning him a little more than before.
Absolutely.
But do you think, so you're saying we're not going to really know until they're game planning for him, period, and he's still able to excel?
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. All right, that's a fair point. Aaron, do you agree that to be a number one, that means you have to be accountable and kind of responsible for some of the team's success?
Who's showing
And
up?
do you think
RJ?
And do you think RJ is there
Yes.
yet?
Yes. Who's showing up at the podium while Randall's hiding? RJ. Who's the man that's taking all the smoke? RJ. Who's showing up and working harder than everybody else? RJ. I think RJ's ready for the smoke and he don't care. I think he's ready for it, and I think it's fine if they put it on him. Because guess what? If I show up for a job and I want to do it, I'm taking everything that comes along with it. And he's ready. Listen, some people are mentally tough. He's one of those people. He not from LA. He not soft. He not soft from the sun. He's from New York. You know what I'm saying? He knows about New York winters. He knows about New York trouble. He's ready for all of it. And I say, give it to him. Listen, he not backing away. When have you ever seen RJ back away from any question or anything? He don't back away. He is him. I'm ready for it. I don't want to put it on him, but if you think that other teams' top stars are not talking about him, they are. So they already planning.
We're not talking about him. We're talking about game planning for him.
Planning for him. They're already planning for him. It doesn't seem that way now because his minutes aren't the same as they've been, and they're growing and growing because he's improving. But listen, I don't want it to happen. It's going to happen anyway, but I'm fine with him taking all the smoke because he's ready to handle it. He's not a punk. He's the one stud for sure on this team. You know that.
Okay. So the next question is, the Knicks have been losing despite his 46 points. The Knicks have been losing despite his ascension. So if he's the number one, can we now start talking about why is the team still losing? Can we start putting RJ into the equation? Because what I'm hearing is RJ is great. He's ascending. He's our number one, blah, 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 blah. But then when we start talking about the Knicks are in the 12th seed, the Knicks are losing 12 out of their last now we get, and that's not because of RJ. And I agree. I don't think it is because of him. But when you're that number one, you should be able to will your team to some victories.
That's right.
And if you're the number one, when it doesn't happen, they looking at you.
And he hasn't.
They're looking at your turnovers.
I don't think
they're looking at your free throw shooting. They're looking at your. They're looking at you. So the point I'm trying to get, it can't be one without the other. It has to be together. So are we at the point now these rest of the games, if RJ's number one, are we at that point where we can start criticizing him down the stretch for his
No.
mistakes and free throws, or does he get a pass because he's growing in that position? I feel like he gets a pass because he's growing into the position and he's not a number
Yep.
one yet. But for those who think he is, can we start criticizing him down the stretch for his poor play?
And Quinn,
I'm-
I feel the same way.
Aaron, can we start criticizing him down the stretch for his poor play?
Yes, we can, because he's criticizing himself. He's
But even if he wasn't, can we criticize him?
4 of the free throws, yes, absolutely. For him being 21 years old and carrying a New York team on his back, no.
No. We just said he's ready for it. We said he's ready for it. So if he's ready for it, you're ready for it. So the point, he's ready or he's not.
He's ready, and you can
He's ready. Okay.
can criticize him, but I'm just saying, we all know, as great as the greatest players have been, you can will as much as you can, but if everybody else isn't showing up, how much can you do?
Well, that part is true. You do need help. But I just want to know, because as these games go on,
Yeah.
for those who say he's the number one, let's start talking about the free throws. Let's start talking about all of those other things.
Hey,
Did I
can I-
go around? I didn't go around. I started with Aaron. So the question is, can we start criticizing him if he's that guy?
Can I jump in? I agree with you that he's not ready yet, or he's ascending into that role. Don't give it to him too early. I'm gonna tell you right now, I can see the writing on the wall when RJ is that guy, and he's making these same type of mistakes and going through these same type of learning, growing pains and learning the experience. They're gonna kill him. I'm trying to protect him. Let him grow into his role organically. When he's ready, it don't matter. What you always say, Queen, the cream rises to the top. When he's ready, he'll be there. It don't have to be given to him. It don't gotta be forced. It don't gotta be pushed. Right now, Randall is protecting him. Let him keep being protected and let him grow.
What do you mean by that? That
Exactly.
Randall's protecting him. What do you mean by that?
I mean, he's the number one guy. He's the guy that is gonna get the majority of the blame. He's the guy that has to take. Granted, he hasn't taken the podium. I think that's the combination of a lot of different things, and I don't agree with it. I think he should take the stand or take the podium, if you will. But I mean, he's the guy that gets the blunt of the blame, regardless, win, lose, or draw. It's better for RJ that way, and let him give him 46 points. But another reason why I don't think he's ready is, again, like you said, if he was ready, we'd have some wins with these great performances. And I'm not putting it on him, but that's what great players do. They will you to a victory. 46 points, but 8 missed free throws. Those free throws not only could have won the game or got him a 50-point game. Like, things like that is how you prove you're ready. The more responsibility he gets, guess what? We're gonna see more turnovers. Are we ready to judge him off of that? Because that's what comes with being the guy down the stretch, the ball being in your hand more down the stretch. The turnovers rise. We talked about that mid-season as we seen his minutes or his late game activity go up. His turnovers went up. It's a natural progression. But if you're gonna put him in that number one spot, then he needs the microscope, the same judgment that the guy who's in that spot gets. That's all I'm saying. I don't think he's ready for that yet. And when he is ready, we'll know.
Aaron, you had a question?
It's not really a question. I want to hear Chris's.
Okay.
I think he is him because Randall is the number one and he's taking all the hits and everything. And I think he's able to just roam and do what he got to do and fill in them open spots when they're doing double teams on Randall or triple teams on Randall. He's able to get his. I'm not trying to knock his skill set or nothing like that, but Randall, like Tony said, is protecting him. Randall is taking the blunt. Randall is getting the defensive schemes. Randall, they're focused on him. They know that Randall could get out there and get 30, 10, and 10. You know what I'm saying? So if you focusing on Randall and you're your defense is geared towards Randall, then he has the opportunity to get off. The thing about it is, if he was him, he wouldn't have waited till now to start having these games that he would have had them before. He, like you said, he would have put this team on his back and say, you know what, Randall, you're not doing what you gotta do. I'm gonna be that guy. So I don't think he's really ready for that. I don't think he's ready for the defenses to turn around because he's probably won't have the games that he's having now. He'd probably be doing the same thing Randall's doing right now. So I don't think right now you should put that on him. I don't think he can handle that. I think we saw somewhere where somebody said something about him, RJ, you suck, and he was like, oh, but you came here looking at me. Yeah, he got that part. He got the toughness, but I don't think he can put it together if he was the number one on the team. I don't think he'll be getting 46 points and 30-something points. I don't think so.
I mean,
I don't think he might could get it, but I don't know if we're gonna be winning games any more games.
Exactly.
Listen, I think he's on his way there. I think he's on his way to being that guy. I don't think he's there yet.
Yeah.
And I think that when you're the number one on the team, the success of that team and the failure of that team, people
It's
are looking
on
at
you.
you.
Yeah.
And I don't think people are looking at RJ just yet for that. And I don't think they should. I like the way he's developing right now. I like, that he's growing into that. Nobody is looking at him to come to the podium. He comes, but nobody is, banking on that. Nobody, when we're losing, nobody is pointing their finger at RJ. Even when he
They're
wasn't
not.
playing well, they weren't pointing their fingers at RJ. They were pointing their fingers at Randall. So I think that eventually he will be that guy. I just don't, but I think once you become that guy, you're accountable and you're responsible for the success of the team. And I just think that that's just a bit too much for him right now. Let him continue doing what he's doing. But I agree with you, Aaron. He's built for it. So when he does get there, I don't think there's going to be an issue.
More thing, just one more thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There's what people are missing, and most of us know it, is there is a huge power struggle going on right now. So he's trying to be the number one, but Randall ain't feeling it. And you can see he does not like his progression. I see it.
But so what? I don't think Randall can stop him from being who he is, though. Even if he don't like it, he can't stop it.
He can't. But if you notice some of the games, and I think I said this in the beginning of the season stuff, you can tell sometimes he ISO him.
Yeah.
He's not giving him the ball. You know what I'm saying? He'll be wide open and Randall is switching toward to the other side, and Evan or whoever on the other side got 2 and 3 people draped, and he'll still try to force that ball over there.
And now we've also seen Randall pass the ball to him, knowing that he needed 2 points to get 30, and make sure that ball went to him so that he can get the shot. I think we're reading too much into that.
No, I'm not planning. I'm just saying that there's a power struggle there. That's all I'm saying.
There's absolutely,
you know what I'm saying?
And there's a respect factor going on because RJ is not going to disrespect Randall. He's not. He's not going to disrespect his teammate, even if his teammate is disrespecting him. He's not, because he's a young kid coming up in this league, and he has a lot of good traits that are beyond basketball. And I see that. And that's why I believe in him. And listen, you can't come in with the attitude and a mood and not talk to the press for 10 games. Listen, I love Randall and I want him to do well, but there is something going on that is leaked all over the team. And with him leaking all this over the team and Rose out, there's so many things going on that we don't really know, but we can see on the court. And that's why we're losing. So I refuse to blame this child at 21 for busting his ass. Oh, sorry. And
but nobody is blaming him, though.
No, but I'm just saying, like, he's going to be that guy. Yeah. He
is going to be that guy, but you can't have one without the other. If you're that guy, then you when the ship is doing well, you get the accolades, and when it goes down, you get the blame. That comes with the territory. You can't have one without the other, and that's what I'm hearing from the RJ fans. They want one without the other. He's our number one. He's our leader right now. Okay, we are in 12th place. Oh, but you can't blame it on him. It ain't one or the other.
But
Now,
they
I
were
agree
talking
it's
about
not his
trading him.
fault. I agree it's not his fault.
They were just talking about trading him. I remember being on a podcast.
Who
And
was talking about trading him?
it was some people that felt like he needed to go.
But at that time,
All these people.
he was playing like trash.
Okay.
And that's just how the Knicks fans are. If you're playing great, we want to keep you. But if you're not, you gotta
Now you
go. I
want to
mean,
give
that's
him the
just how
keys
Knicks
to the
fans
city.
are. And now that he's playing, well, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
If you're a basketball player, I hope you're not riding with these fans up and down. You gotta be level-headed. You can't let these fans, you know. But anyway, any last words on RJ, this topic, anything about RJ? Aaron?
My last words is I'm very happy that he is on our team. I'm glad that he's
So
growing.
am I.
Support him to the end, and we're getting to a very, like I said, we got the core. I have everybody I need. We have a few small pieces, and we got to get rid of a few broken people, and he will excel even more. And listen, RJ's my guy. That was the first jersey I bought this year. He's my
When did you buy it?
in preseason when I was at the games in
Okay.
Cornball.
Okay.
Because I was there, like I always am, because I love my team and I support them screaming. I was screaming Kemba the first game. Listen, I'm so upset about what's happened to my team this year, but I'm still riding with them, and I'll never ride with any other.
Of course. Any last words on RJ before we move to
Hey, I just want to make it clear that RJ's my guy too. Today was RJ Barrett Day or
right.
Bruises.
Right.
So let's just clear that up. I want to watch the natural progression. I do not want too much pressure on him, and he takes whatever's given to him. So if they tell him he's the number one, or say, hey, the team is yours, he's gonna accept it. He ain't gonna shy away from it. But again, I'd rather him play his way into that rather than it just be crowned to him or given to him.
No doubt about it. And I don't think, maybe earlier in the season he didn't want to step on Randall's toes, but I think that's over now.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's over.
When he scored 46 points, I didn't see him deferring at all. I think he's just at the point where he's created the space that he needs on this team to be himself, whether Randall is there or not. And I actually think that they can both play together. I've seen it, a few times. So I don't think that if one is there, the other one has to go. No matter what, Barrett, even if they trade Barrett, you're still going to need another superstar. One is not going to be enough. You look at Harden and Embiid, you look at Durant and Simmons and Kyrie, you look at Paul George and Kawhi. Even if RJ becomes a superstar, he's going to need another one. The Knicks are going to need another one.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. But it's just really good to see him coming into his own.
Yeah, definitely.
Basically. And the other thing I want to see RJ in the playoffs. Like for me, and I've said this a million times, for me, I have to have a huge sample size before I start talking about who's the number one. I got to see you in the playoffs, and then I got to see you the next season. And when Randall had this elite season last year, I said the same thing. I got to see him in the playoffs because that's a different beast. And so it's the same with RJ. I got to see RJ in the playoffs. That's where you really get to see who you have, All right. Who's coming to the Knicks? Let me just shout out the chat real quick. Shout out to Doris, Hannah, Sherwin M, been rocking with us from the beginning. Sherwin said we was only going to win, I think he said 32 games back in preseason. D Nice, Chevion Productions, Danielle, D Nice 77, Kerry Cox, appreciate you, Steve Larson, Funky Goose World, Ricky Beavers, 19 Carmen, New York City 84, Spanish Harlem, J. Rule, Kaiser Saw 718. Oh, another super chat, 1975, Jamrock, appreciate you. J30 gets assists, but a crappy passer of the ball. I mean, not all the time, but I get you. He does turn the ball over. He gives and he taketh away. That's for sure. Appreciate appreciate all y'all. Uh-oh. Yeah. Um, yeah, there we go. All right. So before we get out of here, I just have just one more question. I want to talk just a little bit about Cam before we get into our games next season, excuse me, next week, and get out of here. Cam is getting more minutes, partly due to a shift in the philosophy toward playing the younger players now with like 20 games left. And then also Grimes got injured, right? I think that also opened up more time for him. How would you summarize his play this week? Again, small sample size. How would you summarize his play? Chris, Aaron, Tony.
I want to see more. I think I was one of the people that was extremely happy when we got him because, not only is, he's tall, but he's long, his wingspan. So he kind of gets into those passing lanes. So I'm really, I'm looking forward to see what he can bring. I just hope that, we can find some more minutes to let him shine,
But what have you seen so far that you like?
I like I said, I like he gets into the lane. I like the fact that he did hit it. He did hit a couple shots. Um, I don't know. I'm really looking for more. Like I just feel like we're getting glimpses. We're not really getting a full just of who he is on this team.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Aaron?
Exactly. Like I can't really talk about how he plays when he's not getting enough minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like and the bits that he's showing, he looks great. You know what I'm saying? He's comfortable on the floor. He's got confidence. He's not scared to produce. And these are things that not a lot of people on the team have had lately. I don't know because Tibbs' benching patterns or whatever, but for him not to have played that much for this team and to jump on and be ready and make shots and hit shots, that's more than a lot of other people who've been playing 30 plus minutes a game have been able to get. So you know what? I'm for it. Like I said, play these kids, man. Play these kids. Play my young core that's gonna be here. And sorry, we gotta put the vets to bed. And that's it. I'm ready for some, Cam time. I'm ready. Grimes is amazing. I'm sorry he's injured. I mean, but the kid, the kid's got heart. He said it ain't nothing, and he's gonna come back. So
I like Grimes, man.
Right?
I like Grimes.
Kid's got spunk. I love it. Love it. I love kids with heart. And both these kids, most of the kids on our team look great. I'm ready. I'm ready for more Cam. He was great, and he can't just come here and suck. I'm not ready for that. So,
Tony?
What have I liked? What have I seen?
What have you seen? How would you summarize? It doesn't even have to be like, how would you summarize what you've seen so far?
I think, like everyone else said, we want to see more, but I'm encouraged by what I've seen so far in the slight time that he's gotten, because I've seen, one, he's getting more comfortable. I like the way he plays the passing lanes. I think the last two games, he's like shooting like 50%. 3-point shot got better in the last two games, like in the mid 30s, like 35% or something. When early in his brief time, it was looking bad. Maybe it was nerves, maybe it was just and I like his minutes with RJ. So I think just because they're familiar with each other, I think that would be the smartest thing to do. Is when he's on, he shouldn't have his minutes or a lot of minutes without RJ. Let them build something that they already have chemistry with, you know what I mean? And see if that could bring out the best of him, and then branch off his remaining minutes as they go. But it's encouraging. I think we'll see a lot more after a full offseason and a full training camp and, a defined role. So it's got to be tough on him, but I'm encouraged.
D9 said he's a great free throw shooter. We need that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I'm encouraged by the little bit that I've seen from him as well. I think, he's confident, for sure. So, he'll shoot that three, whether he hits it or it's an air ball, he's
real.
taking it, and so I like his confidence. I think he has good defensive potential. I think his defense does need to get better, though. I think he's screened off rather easily, but because of his frame and his long arms, he does do
Yeah.
deflect the ball a lot. So I do like his defensive potential, and I think having a full off season, coming back in training camp, I think he'll be even better.
And
Actually,
Steph, he doesn't give up. Like, he doesn't get screened off easy, but he fights his way back and kind of gets
yes, he
back into
does.
play.
Yeah.
Whether he, whether he gets the block or whatever, that's something you got to take note of, that he fights his way
Yeah.
back.
And when he
that's a
turns
good
the ball
sign.
over, there was a
Yeah.
time he
Back,
turned
yeah.
the ball over and he was sprinted down, to get it back. Listen,
Great signs.
I think for me, I think I'm probably coming from a different place than most Knick fans. And I think for me is I'm looking to win as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And when I look at this team, I don't really see a lot of I see budding talent. I see budding talent that could grow into something beautiful or could flatten out. Like, we don't know which way, it's gonna go. I don't see a lot of dogs on this team for right now that we can use other than RJ. I don't really see a lot. I think the front office have their work cut out for them. And I think you could you can have the take that, you know what, if we just get a point guard and another player in this mix it together with some chemistry, this could be something beautiful. I'm of the mind, and I know a lot of you is going to disagree. I don't mind trading in a few of these budding players where you don't know if they're going to continue to ascend or not, and trading them in for young players who've been in the league 4 or 5 years, where you kind of know more of what you're going to get for them. I don't know if any of these guys are available, but I'm just saying, I'm not talking about old people. I'm talking about a Donovan Mitchell, a DeJounte Murray. I'm not saying any of these guys are available. A Brandon Ingram. These are guys that have passed the budding stage, excuse me, and you kind of have more of a sense of who they're going to be. Whereas we have so many guys where we hope they will be something, but it can go either way. And that's just me. That's just me. I think the front office has their hands full this offseason between the draft and free agency and trades and whatever they can do to try to help this roster. And I'm okay with any changes, including trading Randall. I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
I heard Peyton's
Any
available.
any last thoughts before we get to the play of the week? Let's do this. I almost forgot. The Thrive Fantasy Player of the Week. Go to thrivefantasy.com. Use code MBK. Get 100% deposit match up to $100. Play of the week, of course. It's only been 2. We've gone back and forth between Randall and RJ. But today is RJ again.
Yeah,
35 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 50% from the field, 42.9% from 3, which is crazy. Only 62.5%.
Yeah, them free throws, bro.
Free throw line. But, if he ever gets that together and he knows it's something that he needs to work on, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. But RJ Barrett is again our Thrive Fantasy Play of the Week, coming off a 46-point game, his first game back from injury. I think we've talked enough about RJ Barrett, right? I don't think we need to say anymore. All right.
We might
upcoming.
jinx it.
Right. These are upcoming games, we play Philly Wednesday at Philly. We just played them Sunday. We played them again at Philly Wednesday. Then we're at Phoenix Friday. Then we're at the LA Clippers on Sunday. Philadelphia is 37-23. They're third in the Eastern Conference, having won 3 straight as of today. 6-4 over their last 10. This season, we've won 2, lost 1, which was yesterday. Phoenix, 49-12. First in the Western Conference. They've lost twice, though. They're 8-2 over their last 10. We lost to them earlier in the season. And the Clippers, we play Sunday, 32-31. They're 8th in the Western Conference. They've won 3 in a row, 6-4 over their last 10. We beat them earlier in the season. If you look at the bottom, Philly is 12th in offensive rating, 10 in defensive rating. Phoenix is top 5 in both offense and defensive rating. Clippers are 26th in offensive rating, but top 10 in defensive rating. So all 3 of these teams are top 10 in defensive rating. The Knicks offensive rating is 25 at 108.1 points per 100 possessions. Defensive rating is 17th, giving up 110.5 points. So we're giving up more points than we're scoring, and that makes for a losing record. Any thoughts and predictions on the upcoming games? Erin?
The schedule hell. I'll be 5 games out of the last ones. Listen, I want to have big hopes and dreams, but I also want to just say, like, I agree with you in the point. Like, I don't mind trading a few people to get some solid players because I'm tired of my whole Knicks life saying we're just 1 player away. We've been 1 player away my whole entire Knicks existence. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, if you have to get rid of Randall and a bunch of other kids, like, at this point, we know that this team doesn't work. There's something wrong here. We have to do what we got to do to get wins now. This schedule is terrible. I doubt we're going to win many games. And even if we make it into the play-in through a miracle of God, we saw how we performed in the playoffs last year. And I hope that they will do better. I mean, like I said, I don't have much hope, but I'm still here. You know, it's a scary prospect. I just don't feel like being embarrassed on national TV for the rest of the year. That's it.
And we got so many. Let me tell you, next year the Knicks are not going to have not 1 national game. We got so many national games. I think this
off last year.
Funky Goose World at Queens Court, we're an entire team away. Sometimes it feels like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
I think that Philly game is on ESPN. Somebody check that. I think that's a nationally televised game.
I just don't.
Erin, what do you think our record is going to be this week?
Oh, are you kidding me? Do I have to answer that?
No, you don't.
How about I answer, like, how many points will somebody score that I like? I mean, listen,
Right.
I want to say I can't predict anything because, you know, even when I think the best things, like, we're playing 3 quarters of ball. We can't finish in the 4th quarter. This has been a nightmare. So we're not going to win any of these games unless we're going to hit our free throws and we're going to finish in the 4th quarter. That's it. And we're not able to do that. And I don't know if it's the coach. I can't blame the players always because it can't be this. It just can't. It's got to be it's got to be Tibbs. I don't know. Like, I know this is a terrible thing to say, but I want to say it anyway. Somebody needs to give him a little food poisoning and let the assistant coaches finish out the season. That's it.
Okay.
God forgive me. I need a different direction. It's not Tibbs anymore. I don't
care. Okay. Chris, your thoughts and predictions on the upcoming week?
I'm gonna go 2-1. I'm gonna jump out the window.
We are going 2 wins and 1 loss.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump out the window.
Okay.
Chris, leave the window open for me. I'm jumping out there too.
You gonna go see? That's my brother.
2-1.
He's a 2-1. There we go.
Yeah.
P for positivity. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wish I had my pom-poms. I'm going 0-3. I don't think the Knicks win a game on this.
Come on, Phoenix doesn't have Chris Paul, even though they have Devin Booker. I think we got a little even. I think we're gonna step up for that, especially if RJ is playing what he playing. Maybe Randall will show up. And then the Clippers, I feel like
Well,
we got a chance.
hold up with the Randall slander. Can we just acknowledge
I'm not
that
slandering him. I'm
prior
saying I hope he
to
show up, meaning that
prior
he
to
plays, he gets 20 points, 25 points. I'm hoping that's what he get that day. That's it. I'm
all
not.
right,
I'm not
okay.
slandering him.
Because I'm just saying
I
prior
know he could
to
do
that
it.
West Coast trip, and including the West Coast trip, and including coming back from the West Coast trip, Randall was playing lights out.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Lights out.
saying. I'm like
Now,
hoping that he get it
after the
back so
All-Star
we
break,
can do 2-1.
it's been a mess. I mean, not a mess, but I think they're gonna have a hard time. They've done it twice where RJ and Randall have played very well together, played off of each other really well, and I think both of them had 30, or one had 30 in the late 20s, or what have you. I think that's going to take some time too, and it may be a moot point if Randall is moved in the offseason. I'm going
Somebody else is
0-3.
2-1, so we're not bad.
Somebody else is 2-1. Yeah, I'm going 0-3. I don't think we beat Philly and Philly. I don't think we beat Phoenix 41-12, 49-12. And the Clippers is also fighting to stay, in the playoff race.
You gotta believe, Stephanie.
They've won 3 in a row. I'm saying the Knicks go 0-3.
They go another 2-1.
Now last week I said they would go 0-2, and we went 0-2. So let's see. I hope I'm wrong. All right.
Well, you got some couple queens now, so we.
we shall see. Any last words before we head out of here? Chris, Tony, and then Aaron will have you take us out of here.
It was a pleasure. I enjoyed tonight. Aaron, thank you for stopping in the Queen's Court. Definitely hope that you come through again.
Definitely.
I don't want to go behind you no more, but it was a pleasure.
Yes, I agree. A pleasure meeting you, Queen. Thanks for having me on, Queens. I could have stepped out tonight, and it could have been all Queens, but it was a pleasure, and as always, your blackest time.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Aaron.
I just want to say thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to other, no offense, Tony, females who appreciate much as I do, because it's very difficult to exist in this space because people don't want to hear you because you're a female and think you have bad takes. But some of us have been buying more merch and paying for tickets way longer than they have, and they need to buy and let us have our words. And it is nice to enjoy everybody's takes. Like, we all are Knicks fans and we're all in the thick of it. And even, listen, I want us to be in 2-1, but unfortunately, I've been a Knicks fan a long time.
Right.
Saying now, I don't know if we're going to be, but I appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate you having a space for us to continue our conversations. And thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Well, shout out to Sim for creating this space. And I remember DMing him and asking if I can be on. He said yes. And then asking me to host a show almost a year in April. So shout out to Sim. Tony, of course, appreciate you. Chris, appreciate you. Erin, you have to come back.
Anytime.
Any Monday you're available,
I'm down.
Just let me know you want the link. Just DM me and say I'm coming on this Monday. Now, if the Knicks play on Monday, we're only on for an hour before the game. So if they play 7:30, we'll come on at 6:30. We'll play at 6:30. I know, I'm telling you, we'll play at 6:30. Other than that, it's 8:30. Any week you want to come, you are welcome to come.
Thank you.
You gotta come with a 2-1. She gotta come back and talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I gotta hear you after a win streak.
Exactly.
That's what I want to hear.
You have no idea. I'm ridiculous. I'm ridiculous.
Somebody said 3-0. Okay.
Wow.
That's tough, but
keep hope alive. Basically, keep hope alive.
Funky Goose World, I see you.
I appreciate the chat. D Nice, David L, Andrew. I can't get that last name. Please forgive me. James Spencer, Kerry. I just appreciate all of you for rocking with us week after week, whether the Knicks are winning or losing. Doris Hannah, DM me at
Yes.
Queen at BK Steph 33 if you want to come on the show. Oh, did she come back?
Come on.
Yeah. All right. We are out.
That's the G.
All right. We off, right, Sam?